Hi, friends. It's sharp 3 p.m., and we are all very excited now to explore Australia, the romantic side of Australia, and see the honeymoon guide that Australia could potentially develop for us. Before we get started, I have some housekeeping announcements for you. Firstly, there is a reconnect button on the top of your screen. So if anything goes wrong, you can't hear us, you can't see us, you can't see the presentation, press the reconnect button, and you should then be able to clearly hear us and see us. Uh, Secondly, there is a live Q&A that we will be addressing your questions towards the second half of this webinar. So at any point, if you have any questions, anything that you want clarity on, please feel free to keep asking questions in the chats tab or in the Q&A section. We are very happy to take up questions. If the questions are not answered today, they will shortly be answered by the team that is here for us. So please continue to ask questions. And finally, a recording of this webinar will be shared with you in the next 24 hours. So 24 hours from now, you will receive an email with a full recording of the webinar. I would now like to start by introducing the gentleman on our screen, Mr. Kunal Ramchandani, Business Head, Turtle Down Under. Hi, Kunal. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And over to you to make this destination absolutely fantastic for us.
Thank you, Devika, and thank you everyone for joining in. Good day to all our travel partners that have locked in. A very, very warm welcome to all of you for today's webinar, Romantic Australia, a honeymoon guide, presented by Tourism Whitsundays, Brisbane Economic Development Agency, Tangalooma Resort, and Cruise Whitsundays, hosted by Turtle Down Under, your DMC for Australia and New Zealand. I am Kunal Ramchandani, the business head at Turtle Down Under. Having more than 18 years of experience specializing in Australia-India travel, today we are very excited to have an incredible lineup of speakers and engaging discussion panel for you. Before we dive in, I will again want to remind everyone of the housekeeping rules. If you have any questions at any given point of time, please drop them in the chat box at any time. We will be addressing all of them in the Q&A session that will be taken at the end of this webinar. Also, any questions that you have, please feel free to ask them because you have a chance to receive an Amazon voucher in your local currency. This webinar is recorded, as Devika mentioned, and we will definitely be sharing all the recordings with you once we finish this session. Let's look at a quick agenda of what we are going to see today. So, giving it a quick look, today we will kick off this presentation from Business Economic Development Agency and Tangalooma Island Resorts, followed by Tourism Whitsundays, and then preceded by Cruise Whitsundays. Lastly, we will hear more about Turtle Down Under and how we can help you create the itineraries for these beautiful destinations. And finally, we'll wrap up with the Q&A sessions. So before I move on to the first speaker, I would like to share some stats about Australian tourism insights. As you can see on your screen, India ranks the 4th highest in terms of the visitors to Australia. And this means that you have a lot of potential to be selling lots and lots of packages to Australia from India. The total number of travelers that traveled are more than 400,000 plus. So you can take full advantage of this webinar today and learn more so that you can sell Australia more and more to all your customers. So without further ado, give me a chance to introduce our first set of speakers. We have Kylie Smith, Trade and Distribution Manager at BEDA, which is the Business Economic Development Agency. Kylie is a passionate business advocate with nearly 20 years of experience working with tourism operators, state tourism boards, and regional tourism organizations. Accompanying Kylie will be Chad Croft, International Sales Manager at Tangalooma Island Resort. To give us an inside look into Brisbane's unique offerings, please welcome Kylie Smith and Chad Croft. Over to you guys.
Thank you so much, Kunal. We appreciate it, and we appreciate everybody joining us online today as well. As mentioned, my name is Kylie, and I look forward to sharing with you a little bit about my home city here, Brisbane, where I live now, and then I'll pass on to Chad to share a little bit more about some a stunning island resort in the region of Brisbane as well. So just to continue on a little bit, that's actually Tangalooma there as well, but Tangalooma Island Resort, I should say, on Moreton Island. But Chad will go into that a little bit more for you. But Brisbane is the capital city of Queensland and an international gateway. You can see there, it's just cut off a little bit, but Tangalooma Island Resort is just right off the coastline of Brisbane. And then we'll also hear, as Kunal mentioned, a little bit further north up the coastline there, you'll see the Whitsundays. So we're going to hear from colleagues from Tourism Whitsundays also talking about this beautiful part of Queensland and Australia. But first of all, definitely, it's very important on getting to Queensland, to Australia, and that's obviously primarily via air. As we do not have a direct flight from India into Queensland currently, but we do have great connectivity on Singapore Airlines is a great partner. And from Singapore into Brisbane, there are currently 25 flights per week flying in from Singapore to Brisbane. And from June this year, that will increase to 28. So we will have 4 flights per day from Singapore into Brisbane, which is great for those connections through from India. So that's a great option for your clients coming down. In that. But once in Brisbane, we do have a beautiful river city. We're a city that lives life in the outdoors. This is very much a Queensland way of life as well. So around that river, there are boardwalks along majority of it in the city centre, pedestrian bridges all across the river as well, rooftop restaurants and bars. We want people to get outdoors and experience this beautiful 300 plus days a year of sunshine and just enjoy being in Queensland, being in Australia, and definitely being in Brisbane. But what makes us so lucky to be in Brisbane is that we have these beautiful regions right on our doorstep. So you can jump over to the islands, which I'll show you more about in just a moment, or going west and you head into World Heritage listed subtropical rainforest as well, and mountain ranges. So we're very lucky to have this beautiful capital city with these authentic Australian experiences right on our doorstep. And then it's also good to note that Brisbane Domestic Airport is the most connected network across Australia. So you can get to more places across Australia from Brisbane Domestic Airport. Most importantly for the purpose of here, definitely up to the Whitsundays as well. And Ben will be able to tell you a little bit more about that. The Brisbane city itself, you can see the river going all the way through, and there's definitely different pedestrian bridges all around, and there's a lot of development happening across the city. We will be hosting the 2032 Summer Olympic and Paralympic Games. So the city is growing. There's infrastructure happening, public transport already getting better, as we know it already. And so there'll be a lot happening, and you'll be hearing more about Brisbane. So it's always great to start including in itineraries now and talking to your clients now so that they know that you've always known about this world-class city once the world stage we are on the world stage in 7 years. So it's just always good to have that there. But like I mentioned, going out into those beautiful regions right on our doorstep, like who would know that this sort of experience could be just 60 to 90 minutes from a city centre? And you can see from this map here, from the city, there's 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and up to 90 minutes. So there's the mountain ranges, which is subtropical, World Heritage listed subtropical rainforests around to the left there, where you'll see the wildlife, the fresh produce and mountain ranges. And then to the right, heading east, is over the islands and bays. Moreton Island, where Tangalooma Island Resort is that little one that's sort of out by itself up the top there a little bit, right next to where it says bays with the dolphin image. There is Moreton Island for context. So that's a great ferry crossing from Brisbane, or a great helicopter flight as well. Great day trip or overnight. And for overnight in the city, there we do have a few options available. There's quite a few, and this is on the increase as well as we head through the next 7 years. With Turtle Down Under, I know that they work quite a lot with Hotel Grand Chancellor, which is that image with the bride and groom there on the top left. So they're a great partner there for trade. So your clients will be in good hands there. IHG, Marriott, Core, they all have great options across the city as well. Amora, that can see here. And then the newest hotel to open in Brisbane most recently in August, just last year, is the Star Grand Brisbane, which is part of the big Queen's Wharf development, which is a $3.6 billion development in the city. And it includes like a whole precinct with a number of hotels, restaurant, bars, entertainment centre as well, and including residences. So the Star Grand, just opened in August last year, and is doing quite well. When I was talking to one of the team there last week, so that's a great option as well. But once you have landed, or your clients have landed in Brisbane and they've spent a lovely night in one of those hotels and, waking up and getting ready to spend their first full day in Brisbane, we just share a few things. There's city, wildlife and nature all in one location. So your clients can get out and they can explore the city from the river, going out during the season and doing the whale watching. There's open air shopping malls. They can climb the Story Bridge for a unique perspective of the city and some great facts and information during that tour and that climb. One of the great experiences that Turtle Down Under loves to share is the koala and river cruises. So this is a pickup in the centre of the city on our cultural precinct of South Bank. And it's like a 90-minute cruise up the river, a little bit shorter, but 90-minute, cruise up the river, nice and gentle. You get some commentary, you can have some morning tea, and then you arrive at Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary, the oldest and the largest koala sanctuary in the world. And here they'll be able to meet koalas, kangaroos, and a whole plethora of authentic Australian wildlife is available in this one place. At the end, the clients can cruise back down the river into the city, or organise a transfer for them back into the city. But it's a nice day out to be able to meet the Australian native wildlife. On day 2, we're going to go out a little further afield into these beautiful regions I mentioned. We can go out to the scenic Rim region, to the gorgeous Mount Tamborine in the bottom right-hand corner there, with a lovely, there's a skywalk, there's great waterfalls around, a shopping village, or like a quaint little mountain village. Going out to Summerland Camels. So this is the largest camel farm in Australia as well, and they actually use the camel milk to make coffees and cheeses and even vodka at some point as well. So that's a nice experience out there to meet the camels and to see what they have out there. You can go floating over the valley in the Ipswich region as well in a hot air balloon, which is a really lovely way to wake up for the day, or going up to Bribie Island in the Moreton Bay region and joining Jason on G'day Adventure 4-wheel drive tours, and seeing some of these animals that you might have seen at Lone Pine Koala Sanctuary. Might see some of them in the wild, like our little friend, the little wallaby there out on Bribie Island. There's some great experiences across the region, having our First Nations or Indigenous cultural experiences, whether it's on islands or in the city, is all available as well. And then day 3, this is a day you can, it can be as jam-packed with adventure and experiences as someone may want, or it can be a complete relaxation on this beautiful beach here, recently voted one of the most world's best beaches sometime last year. So, but Chad might be able to tell you a little bit more about that. But it's Tangalooma Island Resort on Moreton Island. I won't go up into too much detail about this one, but as you can see here, there's everything from accommodation, the heli flights, snorkeling, adventure with the ATV quad biking and the water sports, or just really stopping and just relaxing on the beach, having these wonderful dining experiences on the island as well. So there's lots to see and do. And as I said, you can have it as adventurous or as low key as the client may like. And that's a great option from Brisbane as well. As I said, it's just right off the coastline and very easy to access. So from Brisbane itself, I am with the Regional Tourism Organisation. So we do quite a bit of work around building out trade-specific collateral to help you include Brisbane in itineraries and with how to sell it. So we have sample itineraries and local tips and information and maps available on our Travel Trade Toolkit. And we also have a trade webpage. So if you are wanting to go through something with your client in person, we have this same information that we've built out for you, but in a more palatable sort of way. Instead of just downloading from our toolkit, it is also available on our webpage, a trade webpage, so that you can go through with your clients as well. And it's quite easy to be able to do. So yeah, there's some great options there, and we'd love to be able to share that with you so we can do that as well. But that's a little bit about Brisbane for now, but thank you for joining us today. I'm going to hand over to the lovely Chad Croft from Tangalooma.
Where are we? Good evening, everyone. To you all over there in the great country of India. I'm Chad. I'm from Tangalooma Island Resort. Thank you very much to Kylie for giving me a little introduction there on Tangalooma. And we're an island resort just off the coast of Brisbane, on Moreton Island. Now, everything you can see in this image is part of Tangalooma Island Resort. Now, we're accessible by ferry, and you can see a couple of those ferries down on the jetty there. Now, those ferries take just over 1 hour to get across to our resort. Now, looking at this map, you can see we're off the east coast of Australia there. Brisbane Airport, Brisbane City, very close to our ferry terminal. Just a short 20-minute Uber or taxi ride from Brisbane CBD, or 10 minutes by taxi or Uber from Brisbane Airport, or bus as well, if you're planning any group movements. Now, the ferries, we run 4 times a day, each day, across to Moreton Island, to Tangalooma Island Resort. And our ferry sizes range from 80 seats up to 320 seats. Connecting to flights is quite easy as well. I have them details. You're welcome to contact me later, and I can show you how to connect with flights. And with, as Kylie mentioned, you've got SQ and QF flights regularly flying into Brisbane, connecting from Singapore, and 3 out of 4 of those a day connect directly to our ferries for your guests. Now, once you get there, you start planning your holiday. We've got quite a few options for you to choose from as far as accommodation goes. So we've got 7 different types of accommodation. We're looking south of the resort here with our villas closest to us. But for your guests, our most popular is actually our hotel. Now, we have 7 different types of accommodation, but for the Indian guests, the most popular is the hotel rooms. These all have balconies and bathroom. These were all fully refurbished just less than 18 months ago, at the end of 2023, that was finished up. There's 96 hotel rooms, and they're a mixture of standard and deluxe and twin and king bedded rooms. Can also sleep 2 extra children in the rooms on the fold out sofa beds. Every single one of the hotel rooms faces towards the water, including the deluxe rooms especially. They have the better views being a little bit higher up. They're the top 2 floors of the hotel. Now, the bottom 2 floors do have slightly less water views because the gardens have grown so well, but every room on Tangalooma that your guests can stay in faces towards the water. Now, as far as something a little bit larger, we move on to our suites and units. We have 134 of these, and these are essentially a 1-bedroom or studio layout. So the units are the studio layout, and the 1-bedroom is the 1-bedroom apartment style. These all have a kitchenette. The largest of them can sleep up to 7 in a room, but these are less popular with your guests. As mentioned before, the hotel is the most popular for the Indian traveller that comes to Tangalooma. And when I say the Indian traveller, we've had guests visiting Tangalooma from the Indian market for many, many years now. We've been, as Tangalooma, we've had salespeople coming into your market and visiting travel agents around many cities for over 25 years now. I've been up to the market 20 times myself. I was there twice last year. And we welcome your guests, and they come to stay for normally 2 to 3 nights. We also have many, many day trippers, and they'll stay in Brisbane and southeast Queensland for a couple of nights and then come over to us on one of our day tour options. Now, for your guests that want to stay in something a little bit more premium, we would recommend our Deep Blue apartments. And these are a range of 2, 3, and 4 bedroom apartments. We also have one special penthouse apartment that sleeps up to 6 people. It's probably my favorite accommodation on the resort. Every one of these apartments faces over Moreton Bay, And also in the evening, if you've heard of us before, you might know about the wild dolphins that come in to visit and be hand-fed by your guests. And this happens right in front of the Deep Blue Apartments. So you can be standing there on your balcony watching a sunset over the beautiful Moreton Bay and have a family of dolphins come right in front of you. It's incredibly unpopular, especially for the young children and families. And we also have the villas. We saw them in the earlier photo. There's 56 of those, and they can sleep up to 6 adults and 2 children. And they're a 2-bedroom style with 2 balconies, all facing towards the beachfront and Moreton Bay again. And then we also have some holiday homes, but they're less popular for the Indian traveller. Now, as far as tours and activities, we have about 60 tours and activities available. But for your market, the quad biking and sand tobogganing are very popular, and most of our guests that book from the Indian market will pre-book the sand tobogganing as part of the Desert Safari bus tour. That's an hour-and-a-half activity that heads out to our desert just behind the resort. The other one is the ATV quad biking. Now, these operate multiple times a day, and each of these tours can be included in your day trip package or in your accommodation packages. Another one that's very popular from your market is the helicopter sightseeing, and probably my favorite. There's a particular one which I think I mentioned in the water sports further on, but when you fly south of our resort, we're quite lucky. We've got a wonderful marine life playground. Flying over the shallows of Moreton Bay, you will see a vast array of marine life, including dugongs, green sea turtles, dolphins, stingrays, and in the right season, which is June to October, you'll even see humpback whales. Now, other things you can do at the water here are the shipwreck and sightseeing and fish feeding cruise. We have 15 shipwrecks nearby. We saw them in the previous slide, actually, from the helicopter. These are great for snorkeling, and we have the snorkeling tour operating all year round. All your guests are provided with full-length wetsuits to keep them cool in the winter and safe from in the water, and they provide great flotation too. And then there's many cruises and wildlife spotting on the water, not just by helicopter, but by our Marine Discovery cruise and our fish wreck sightseeing tour. Now, the Marine Discovery cruise goes out from the resort and follows the shallow sandbars up and down in front of the resort, looking for dugongs and turtles up close. The same animals we were talking about spotting from the helicopters earlier. We've also got the kayaking tours. You can hire them. And as I mentioned before, the marine wildlife spotting by helicopter. And that helicopter sightseeing flight can be included in your day tours as well as your accommodation stays. We have many other helicopter sightseeing flights, but we find for the Indian guests, they are after some unique Australian wildlife, and they can see that from that helicopter flight. But we're probably most well known for the wild dolphin feeding. And I mentioned them before because you can see these animals coming in at sunset out from your Deep Blue apartment. Now we can see up to 9 dolphins per day, and your guests, all they have to do is walk into the water up to their waist, holding a fish by the tail. Once they get into the water, they drop their elbow in up to the water, and the dolphin will swim up and take the fish from their hand. They're very gentle. They don't bite. They don't like the taste of Indians, so you're all safe. But this has been happening for over 40 years now. It started with 1 dolphin. We're now up to the 4th generation, the great grand calves of the original dolphin that came in. The whale watching happens from June to October. This can be done by the cruisers or by helicopter as well. For your private guests that are looking for something special, or the honeymooner, put them up to go out spotting humpback whales by helicopter. It will be something incredibly memorable, and not many places in the world you can do it. Food, drinks, and dining. We've got 6 restaurants, cafes, and bars. We can do special dietary requirements. We have veg and non-veg options available. We can even book Indian meals in as long as you pre-book them as well. For those that are looking for incentive events, we have some great venues. I just wanted to touch on them quickly. I know this is a honeymoon special, but we can do weddings on these venues as well. And we've had had an Indian wedding back in October last year with just over 300 people attending. But we can do what is an event on what is Australia's only beachfront event venue, along with team building and cocktails, etc. But that's the basic rundown of Tangalooma. We can easily connect our ferry transfers to your flights. You can see multiple types of marine life, and as I mentioned before, there's day trip and accommodation options for you. And I think we're on to Ben now from Whitsunday region, right?
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Kylie, and thank you, Chad, for that comprehensive overview of Brisbane. It's always exciting to see and learn how this city is growing and evolving. Next, I am delighted to introduce Ben Summers. He's the Digital and Marketing Manager at Tourism Whitsundays. Ben is a digital marketing specialist with expert in SEO, CRO, and product management. With a passion for tourism, trade, and storytelling, Ben plays a key role in promoting the Whitsundays as a must visit destination through strategic digital initiatives and industry partnerships. Accompanying Ben will be Jess, the sales and marketing executive at Cruise Whitsundays. Over to you, Ben and Jess.
Thank you very much, and yeah, welcome again, everybody. I'm going to teach you a little bit about the Whitsundays, but my name is Ben, obviously from Tourism Whitsundays, and we're located in the beautiful heart of the Great Barrier Reef. Now, our region is quite special, but what a wonderful pairing with the likes of Brisbane and Tangalooma. Very complementary products. Now, the Whitsundays region, Kylie showed you all a map of the Queensland state, and this is just a little bit of a zoomed in explanation of exactly where we are. So we're in the central north coast of Queensland. It's just a short flight away, but I'll jump onto how to get to our region in a little bit of time. So the key thing for us is that we have 74 island wonders, and that's really one of the center points of our region, aside from being in the lovely Great Barrier Reef. And you can see this little blown up map here with some key locations: Hamilton Island, which most of you or some of you will know, Airlie Beach, Whitehaven, Hook Island, the list goes on. Now, how to get here? We're very lucky. We have two domestic airports servicing the region. The first is the Great Barrier Reef Airport on Hamilton Island, and the second is the Whitsunday Coast Airport in Proserpine, serviced by all of the major carriers in Australia: Jetstar, Virgin, Qantas, Skytrans, and relatively short flights, particularly from Brisbane. So from the Brisbane Airport, it's about an hour, 3/4 flight to the Whitsundays, and then getting from the airport to your destination in the region, very, very simple. We also have rail options if your clients have significantly more time in their itineraries, and that is, in my opinion, a very underrated way to travel our state. Australia is very big, and you see a hell of a lot when you're traveling on rail. But the most important thing for you guys to know is that the Whitsundays is really a perfect destination if we add it to the itinerary, including things like Brisbane, Tangalooma, but also as a standalone destination within itself. To talk a little bit about what the Whitsundays is like, obviously there is a theme: blue water, white sand. But one of the major draw cards for our region is that it is tropical climate all year round. So our winter months, we're talking 25 degrees, summer months up to 32, as you can see there, but a year-round water temperature of 25 to 26 degrees centigrade, which is just outstanding. It means it's comfortable for swimming, snorkeling, and diving all year, and it's really quite a favorite for the water lovers amongst us. We want to talk a little bit about what makes the Whitsundays special, and we call these our hero experiences. And as you can see on the slide here, we have the Great Barrier Reef. We're about right smack bang in the middle of the reef, stretching from Bundaberg all the way to the top of Queensland. But we have 74 islands, as I was saying, but most iconically, we have Hill Inlet and Whitehaven Beach located on Whitsunday Island, and Whitehaven Beach is a fantastic draw card for our region, and it is exactly as beautiful as you see it in the photography here on the slide. But sailing, flying, snorkeling, diving, anything that you or your clients would like to put in the itinerary, we can just about do it. And then last but definitely not least, we have Airlie Beach and the mainland. So filled with shopping and dining, heaps of accommodation options. It's just a very diverse region. So we have the bucket list. Now, home to 3 Australian icons, right? So let's get into it a little bit. We have the Great Barrier Reef. Now this is absolutely stunning, and I would second Chad's opinion on getting up in the air. It is absolutely breathtaking when you see the Great Barrier Reef from above. You really start to appreciate the size and scale of it. Heart Reef, very lucky. Again, we have a reef formation in the shape of a heart. And if you've been booking itineraries and putting packages together, you've likely seen a photo very similar or this exact photo getting around. Whitehaven Beach and Hill Inlet. This looks as good as it does in person as it here on the slides. You can get an iPhone photo as good or very similar to this. The sun shining, blue water, white sand. Now, I just want to touch on a little bit of accommodation. We have a ton of accommodation in the Whitsundays, over 6,000 accommodation rooms. And here I've selected just 6 of the many, many trade-ready accommodation providers we have in the region. Coral Sea Resort, Intercontinental Hayman, Great Barrier Reef, Mirage Whitsundays, Airlie Beach Hotel, obviously Hamilton Island, and then also Yangaro. So these all just represent slightly different takes on accommodation within the Whitsunday region. You almost can't go wrong, and it's really up to you and your client to select the flavor of accommodation that suits you. Now, when we start to talk about itineraries, and particularly for a romance setting, we have a ton, an absolute ton. So there is over 150 unique activities throughout the Whitsundays region. Now, Cruise Whitsundays is going to be speaking just after me. I'll introduce my lovely colleague, Jess. So I'll leave the touch points out. But we can see here, this is just one location in our region, Whitehaven Beach, which is situated next to Hill Inlet on Whitsunday Island. For those of you taking notes, there'll be a quiz after this. But we can see we have many, many different options to get there, depending on what your client would like, depending on the flavor, essentially. So get out there and see it. I couldn't second Kylie's notion enough about the Queensland spirit being getting out and enjoying what we have in the great outdoors. Day 2. So this is where I would direct you to focusing a little more on the mainland. As I said multiple times, we have 74 islands. So the islands tend to take a lot of the focus, and for good reason. It's very, very beautiful. But the mainland has some absolutely wonderful locations for you to get out and explore. Over 200 cafes and restaurants. It's ideal for networking and dining and doing everything that you could think of. And we have a couple of the highlights here. So Hideaway Bay and Cape Gloucester, just located about 30 minutes drive to the north of Airlie Beach. Cedar Creek Falls, this is a freshwater fall, and it runs almost year round, but it is just stunning. And then we have Bowen and Proserpine, and these are 2 of our townships that are a little bit further afield. Bowen's about 45 minutes north, just past Hideaway Bay, and Proserpine is about 20 minutes south through the very fertile and green lands of the inland Whitsundays. Now, day 3, this is where I'm going to introduce my colleague, Jess, from Cruise Whitsundays. And she's just going to talk to you a little bit about their product offerings and exactly what they do. But guys, Cruise Whitsundays is an absolutely premier operator in our region, where we're honestly lucky that they deliver such excellence on a daily basis. But really, they are innovators in the Whitsundays experience space, doing everything from bespoke experience to island connection for everybody involved. So I won't steal all of your thunder, Jess. I'm going to introduce you now. So take it away. I'm going to skip forward to your slides. But thank you for listening, everybody. And here's my colleague, Jess.
Thanks, Ben. Hi, everyone. I'm Jess from Cruise Whitsundays. Let's get through here. So who are we? We are owned by Journey Beyond, a large Australian touring company. We are located in the beautiful Whitsunday region, as Ben just mentioned, where you can catch direct flights from Melbourne, Brisbane, Sydney, and Adelaide and Cairns daily. However, we are located in Airlie Beach, which is just a short 45-minute drive from the Whitsunday Coast Airport. So we like to say at Cruise Whitsundays, we have all of the Whitsundays must-dos covered. So we can take you to the Great Barrier Reef for the day. We have our overnight reef stays experiences. We have multiple experiences to Whitehaven Beach daily, including our Chimera sailing adventure. We also have some island escapes and our resort connections. So Cruise Whitsundays connects the 5 main ports of the Whitsundays, including Hamilton Island, Daydream Island, and the Hamilton Island Airport. So firstly, we have our Great Barrier Reef adventure. So this is a full-day snorkeling safari to the outer Great Barrier Reef. It's just one section of the reef called Hardy Reef, where we have a really large pontoon, which we call Reef World. So this is where you'll have a scenic cruise through the Whitsundays Islands out to our Reef World pontoon. And here you can spend 4 hours on the pontoon with a range of both wet and dry activities to keep you occupied. So this one includes all of your morning tea, afternoon tea, a full buffet lunch. You also have access to an amazing underwater observatory and semi-submarine tour, which you can see on these screens here. You can really see how quite large and spacious the pontoon is as well. So it really gives you enough room to stretch out and explore as you wish. Some optional extras that we run on our Great Barrier Reef adventure. We work very closely with the company Hamilton Island Air to take you for scenic flights over the iconic Heart Reef, as Ben mentioned earlier. We also work with an incredible reef safari team to offer underwater photography, introductory and certified scuba dives, as well as a guided small group snorkel safari with a master reef guide to really learn what it is that you're seeing below the water. So this one costs about $319 for an adult and $155 for a child. And then you have your optional extras on top of that. So these are our reef stays. These are our 2-day, 1-night experiences on our Reef World pontoon out in the Great Barrier Reef. Firstly, we have our reef sleep. So this is a glamping-inspired night under the stars. This is your chance to sleep on top of the Great Barrier Reef and stargaze until you fall asleep. This one is all-inclusive. It includes breakfast, morning tea, afternoon tea, buffet lunch, and a chef's prepared lunch, as well as your dinner and all of your drinks across the days. Both alcoholic and non-alcoholic are included. Then we have, these are queen size mattresses. So these reef beds include a light, a fan, and a charging port. You also have your own private amenities on the top deck of the pontoon, as well as your own private space away from the day guests. So it's a little sectioned off area so you can really stretch out and not need to worry about being around too many other people. We then have our reef suites. So this is Australia's first and only underwater accommodation. These are our luxury underwater rooms. In our reef suites, you have your own private ensuite, as well as a large king-size bed, air conditioning, lights, charging ports, and everything else that you may need. Included with your reef suite experience, you also get to do one of the guided snorkel safaris with a master reef guide that I did mention earlier. And this one includes all of the same inclusions as you would if you were a reef sleep guest. So here you can see a few more images of our underwater rooms. You can see really quite how spacious they are and had the open plan design. You've got the floor to ceiling windows where at night there's a blue light that shines out into the water so you can really watch the marine life come awake. Here is a few images of some of the food that we offer out on our pontoon. So we actually have a commercial grade kitchen on our pontoon with 2 chefs on a rotating roster to prepare you the most incredible food that you could possibly think of. You can also add on an underwater dinner as well if you wanted to really elevate your experience. Then we have Whitehaven Beach. So to Whitehaven Beach, we offer both full and half day experiences. Firstly, we have our Whitehaven Beach Chill and Grill. So this is the ultimate Whitehaven Beach experience. This one you get to explore Hill Inlet as well as the swirling sands, and then you also get to spend some time on Whitehaven Beach with a range of beach activities, stand-up paddleboards, beach volleyball. This one includes your morning tea, afternoon tea, and an Aussie-style beach barbecue whilst you are in the water and having a swim. Our crew will prepare your meal. We find this one is really great for anyone who's wanting to spend as much time as they possibly can and see the best of Whitehaven Beach. We then have our Whitehaven Beach morning and afternoon departures. So this one visits the southern end of Whitehaven Beach only. So unfortunately, this one does not take you to Hill Inlet with the guided walk, but it does give you 2 hours of beach time to just relax and swim. This one you can choose to take a walk to the southern lookout, which you can see pictured there. It's about a 40-minute return trip, and in my opinion, it can be just as beautiful as Hill Inlet. This one includes either morning or afternoon tea, depending on which departure it is that you choose, as well as a sausage sizzle on the beach and all of the other equipment that you may need to enjoy your day. Then we have our Chimera sailing adventure. So this is an all-inclusive sailing experience through the Whitsundays Islands. With capped capacity numbers, guests can really stretch out and relax. So this one takes you snorkeling along the fringing reef of the Whitsunday Islands, as well as to Hill Inlet for the guided walk up to the swirling sands. This includes your morning tea, afternoon tea, an amazing barbecue on board, as well as all of your beverages for the day. Here's a few images of that one that you can see the experience. We have our Chimera Sunset Sail. So this one is really, really great for any time poor guests or anyone who's wanting to get out and have a little sail through the islands, but just they don't have a full day. This is a really, really popular one. So this is a 2-hour sailing experience through Pioneer Bay. It is all-inclusive of a drink on arrival, all of your beverages for the duration of the experience, as well as an incredible charcuterie offering. And then this one gets you back to the mainland of Portovale at about 8 p.m, where our guests really like to then continue their day, their evening through the main street of Airlie Beach. Then we have a few island escapes. So we can take you to Hamilton Island for the day. The Hamilton Island freestyle is really popular. It includes your return transfers to and from Hamilton Island, as well as lunch and a drink at their Marina Tavern lunch spot. Guests can enjoy all of the resort facilities, including the swim-up bar, free island shuttle bus, and beach sports. We then have our Daydream Island Escape. Very similar to the Hamilton Island Freestyle. This is return transfers to Daydream Island, lunch and a drink at the Salty restaurant. And you can also use snorkeling equipment if you do choose to snorkel Lovers Cove and get to see some of the amazing work that they are doing in that space. Daydream Island also have a really incredible underwater living reef that you can see while you're there as well. And then we have our resort connection. So like I said, Cruise Whitsundays connects the 5 main ports of the Whitsundays. We operate out of Portovale and Shute Harbour, and we can take you to Daydream Island, Hamilton Island, and Hamilton Island Airport. And that is all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jess, and thank you, Ben, for that inspiring presentation. I'm sure many of us are already wanting to plan our trips to Whitsundays. So we have heard from all our presenters how beautiful Australia is. Uh, Allow me to take you on a journey to make you understand how Turtle Down Under can help you to sell Brisbane and the Whitsundays. Why you should be booking with Turtle Down Under? Because we have been in this business for almost 8 years, more than 8 years. We have a 24/7 concierge support. This means when your travelers are on ground, there is someone talking to them, guiding them every single day. We have operations in multiple countries, which is Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, etc. We also have a same day quotes revert with our Shell technology where you can create your quotations within 60 seconds. We are award winning services. We have won the Best Inbound Tour Operator Award at the ITA South 2024 and the North 2023. With Turtle Down Under, you get exclusive hotel deals regardless of the season availability, which are at fixed prices. Our fixed FIT tour packages, no matter what the season and no matter what the time is, run throughout the year. We also have meet and greet at aircraft door services, which you can book for your VVIP clienteles. The TDU specials and add-ons are the specials that you get with us when you book a package at add-on rates from our special partners. We are accredited and we have quality membership certifications from ATEC, TEC, Tourism Export Council, and Qualmark. TDU special add-ons, when you book any packages with us, when you book 2 full-day tours, you get a free Sydney night tour. When you book a Blue Mountains and a big bus tour, it comes at a special price only with Turtle Down Under. You get a Sydney duty-free coupon with a 5% discount for free purchases over $70 at Sydney Duty Free. With Melbourne, you get a complimentary Chadstone tote bag and much more when you visit the Southern Hemisphere's biggest mall. You receive a Melbourne City tour when you book any full-day tours with us as free. In Gold Coast, you have free admission to Paradise Country when you book a Movie World and Sea World with Turtle Down Under. In Gold Coast, you book a hot air balloon and you get a free Aero jet boat ride with one-way transfers from them. For iFly at Gold Coast, we have a very special price that is only available with Turtle Down Under. You receive a complimentary ice cream when you book a Big Cat Reef Cruise to the Green Island. In Cairns, at Fitzroy Island, you get a free semi-sub, glass bottom boat, snorkeling, lunch, and an ice cream only with Turtle Down Under. Next, our awards and achievements. We have been the best inbound tour operator in Australia. We have been the leading DMC for Australia and NZ and awarded as at the MICE Conference Expo Awards. We have been the partner of the year for the Merlin Entertainments. Certain events and travel management that were taken by Turtle Down Under was the Credai 2024, where we welcomed more than 1,200 esteemed guests. We did the AYID at 2024. We also recently got the opportunity to host the External Affairs Minister, Mr. S. Jaishankar, in Australia, and that was our privilege. Next, you will now go through the whole journey with me, how you can create a 9-night, 10 days beautiful tour package and an itinerary. I was seeing many people were asking how many nights to take, what budget should one take, how can we see everything, how can we learn what should be included, what should not be included. So here you go. I will guide you with all of this and answer all these questions with this itinerary, where it includes the Melbourne, Whitsundays, Brisbane, and Sydney in a 9-night, 10 days journey. Day 1, at your arrival in Melbourne, you can visit the cultural capital of Australia. Day 2, you can follow up with the Penguin Parade tour. Day 3, you depart from Melbourne with a shared transfer and you arrive at the Whitsundays. Day 4, you do the Great Barrier Reef, which is the whole day tour. Day 5, you visit the Whitsunday Islands and Whitehaven Beach for the whole day tour. Day 6, you depart from Whitsundays and you reach into Brisbane. After reaching to Brisbane, you can explore the local city. And on day 7, you can do the full day Tangalooma Island tour. On day 8, you can visit the Koala Cruise and Lone Pine Sanctuary. And then you move on further to Sydney, where you see the Sydney Opera House and explore the city in this 9-night, 10 days tour. On the last day, you can finish your tour with the big bus, 24-hour entry ticket, and explore the showboat in a cruise in the evening. On the 10th day, you depart back from Sydney. So this itinerary for 9-night, 10 days that includes the Great Barrier Reef, Tangalooma Island, Miramar Cruise, Whitehaven Beach, costs starts from $2,339 Australian dollars on a double sharing basis. And all of you who are here can reach out to us for these itineraries. You also have options to access all these itineraries and many more such itineraries right from our website. You just need to log on to turtledownunder.com.au and you will have access to all the itineraries. When you click on the top left bar, you can see it's mentioned over here. You just need to put your credentials. You can use any social logins to use the credentials, and you can download all the itineraries and much more over there. So thank you, everyone. That's it from my side, but it doesn't end over here. Allow me to thank all the presenters with their beautiful presentations that they have given. And now is the time where I'll open the floor for your questions. If you haven't already dropped your questions in the chat box, please address them in the chat box, and I will be more than happy to address them to specific speakers who are available here to answer all your questions. So starting first, Shobhagya Nayak is asking, I want package for Australia and New Zealand for 3 packs, visa under process. Please share contact details of B2B. Shobhagya, you can reach out to us at Turtle Down Under. You can reach out to us on sales@turtledownunder.com.au. You can see all the coordinates of the people on the screen right now. You can take a picture of this and you can reach out to our team, and we'll be more than happy to help you with all of this. Nanki Singh is asking, explain aircraft meet and greet, please. So I think this question is addressed to me. So Nanki, we have an option where you can book a meet and greet service for all your customers, and there'll be someone to welcome them right at the door of the aircraft as soon as they land from the aircraft. Tanu Vashisht is asking how many minimum nights and budget one should take. Ben, would you like to answer this? How many minimum nights and budget one should take for Whitsundays Island?
Yeah, so that's a hard question to answer. I would say the minimum to spend in our region, in terms of time, is 3 days, and that's really just due to the size of Australia as a country. I know India is a big place too, so it's sort of similar in that regard. When you are in one region, it takes a long time to get out and see things. So 3 days is minimum. 5 days would be absolutely ideal, and that would give you enough time to get around and see what we call our hero destinations or experiences like Whitehaven and Hill Inlet. And then also take some time to relax and enjoy the scenery. In terms of budget, wow, that's a tough question. Again, it's up to the client and what they would like to do. I've spoken to backpackers that have come into the region, with a couple of $100 to their name, and then we flip that script to the ultra luxury guys that are sort of spending $2,000 or $3,000 on a dinner. So it's largely dependent on the clientele and what they would like to do and how long they're planning to be in the region. I'm sorry, I can't be a little more specific than that, but I hope that answers your question.
So I think next question is for Jess. What kind of reef stays are available? Oh, sorry, I think it's for Ben. What kind of reef stays are possible in Whitsundays region?
Yeah, so it's Cruise Whitsundays that deliver the reef stays and nobody else. It's some of the most unique accommodation in the country. And there's those 2 options. So we have Reef Sleep and Reef Suites, and they're both located at Reef World or Hardy Pontoon, as Jess was sort of flicking through on her slides. So it is those 2 options. They're different price points. And they are both they're both unique experiences, but they're held on at the same place. So once you get out there, I'll just talk you through a little bit about it. My mum herself, she's done the Reef Sleep 4 times in 3 years, so it's a wonderful product. But you get dropped out there. There's food and beverage staff, there's chefs, think canapes, sunset over the water. And by the way, you're really in the water. You're about an hour and a half away from the mainland, so you have uninterrupted views for 360 degrees. canapes, lovely dinner. Wake up in the morning, you can go snorkeling, get involved, and that's not dependent on if you're in the suite or you're above on the deck in Reef Sleep. They tend to actually join in together, which is really cool. So they're the two reef stays for the region.
Great, thank you, Ben. So I think there's a question that's addressed to Chad. If Chad's here, what are the timings for the ferry at Tangalooma Islands?
I'll take that one because Chad did have to jump off. But they depart Brisbane at 7:30 a.m., 10 a.m., 12:30 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. That's when they depart Brisbane across to Tangalooma Island Resort.
Thank you, Kylie. I think the next question is addressed to me. Mohammed Sadiq is asking, do you do group departures or customized packages? Do you have fixed departures? So Mohammed, yes, we do have customized packages. We also have fixed FIT departures. That means any of your clients traveling on any dates will always have a tour, a group tour, which is a local SIC tour operating every single day. So we can do that. For fixed departures, you can send us an inquiry and we can run one only for you. Sobhagya Naik is asking, please update if the company is providing New Zealand packages. Yes, Sobhagya. Today we are here to discuss about Australia, but we do provide New Zealand packages as well. Richard has a question about visa processes. Richard, you can write into us and we will connect you with the right people who can help you in processing the visas. It's very smooth and the probabilities of getting an Australia visas are increasing every single day if you have the right documents. Meenu Rawat is asking, what is the best season to visit and explore fully? Kylie or Ben, would you like to go with this question?
Because we are lovely people, us Aussies. We would love to welcome you all down and visit us in Australia. So I think that's one of the main things. It is a very welcoming country. And you know, like Ben and I both mentioned, spending all of that time in the outdoors, in the sunshine, in the fresh air, and just getting to see what, you know, going to the beach, going to islands, going out into the hinterland and, you know, rainforest, you know, the wonderful native wildlife that we have as well. I think there's so many different things, different reasons that I think we've got you covered.
Great.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with Kylie. You can pick any time of the year. I always say to people, again, what's your flavor? What do you like to do? The Whitsundays, Brisbane, Queensland as a whole, even the whole country of Australia. It's good all year round at any time. It just pick the season that you prefer. My favorite season is actually spring. So I like when we're coming out of winter into the summer months. It's absolutely really stunning. You get very consistent weather, lower temperatures, and of course, again, we're blessed in Queensland. We have beautiful water temperature almost the whole way up, all year round. So it depends on your clients, and yeah, just pick the season in which they're most comfortable.
So Meenu, I hope you got your answer. You can visit Australia throughout the year and keep visiting in every season. Is that what I would say? So Rekha has a question. She's asking, is there any specific timings for the ferry for the Heart Reef? And are there any yacht accommodations available near the Heart Reef?
Yeah, so Heart Reef is actually a little bit further away from where Hardy Pontoon is, and that's, you recall, that's where Reef Sleep and Reef Suites are. There's a couple of different ways to get out to Heart Reef, as Jess was sort of instructing through her presentation. In terms of accommodation, no. The closest thing would be the Reef Sleep and the Reef Suites out at Hardy Pontoon. But the best way to get out there is generally by air, and one of our favorite operators to work with is Hamilton Island Air. They do a lovely service out there called Journey to the Heart, and they'll actually take you out there by helicopter. You can swim and snorkel and get all of the Instagram worthy photos while you're there. The helicopter waits for you and then takes you back. If you'd like to experience Heart Reef, that is the best way to see it up close and personal, but there's many different ways to get above it in the air and fly over it. Multiple of our operators offer services to get out there and see it from above. And I could not recommend it enough. You really do feel small when you're out there in a plane looking down at one of the natural wonders of the world.
Yeah, definitely. So I think there's a question, Kylie, you would like to answer. Are there any Christmas markets in Brisbane?
Christmas markets. During the season, they do have some fun different markets that will come on. We do have like weekend markets year round and food markets weekly, farmers markets all the time as well. And then during the season, they do tend to make them a little bit more Christmassy. They're not on the level of something you're going to find in Germany. I will say that. But yes, there are some markets around.
Great, thank you very much. So I think there's a question from a lot of people, including Mayur, where he's asking, if our customers are strict vegetarians, could you share the possibilities of getting a vegetarian food when they are in the Whitsundays? And they're asking for menus. I'm sure menus can be shared on the email, but Ben, would you like to answer if there are any vegetarian food possibilities?
Yeah, in short, that's easily done. The main thing to know is that we just need to be a little bit prepared. So when we're doing experiences, when we're talking to accommodation providers, when we're talking to the operators such as Cruise Whitsundays in the region, just mention to them that these are your dietary requirements, and yeah, we're more than happy across the board to accommodate wherever and however we can. It's as simple as that. We're lucky to be in the modern day. It's very commonplace. It's not like it's special or a surprise. So it's more about just delivering the right experience for your client. And the main thing to do that, to allow us to do that, is preparation.
Perfect. Thank you, Ben. So thank you, everyone. I think we have come to the end of our webinar. A big thank you to our speakers, Kylie, Chad, Ben, and Jess, for their engaging presentations. And thank you to all of you for taking the time today and joining us. We hope you found the session inspiring and insightful. As a reminder, the recording of this webinar will be available, and all the additional resources, including the presentation, will be shared with you. If you would like to know more about Tourism Whitsundays, Business Economic Development Agency, Turtle Down Under, Cruise Whitsundays, please feel free to reach us, and we will be more than happy to assist you with anything. You have the credentials of our team, the email addresses where you can reach out to us on sales@turtledownunder.com.au, asia@turtledownunder.com.au for Southeast Asia, group sales@turtledownunder.com.au for all your group queries. You can also visit our website for the latest information. You can follow us on the social media pages. Thank you, everyone. We have the next webinar on Gold Coast featuring speakers from Hot Air Balloon, Aerojet Boat, theme parks, and Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.